So welcome everyone to the fourth webinar by Think Wildlife Foundation. Today we have Moumita Chakraborthy to talk about her work with red pandas in Sikkim. So yeah, the session is recorded. If you have any questions, um, type in the chat box, or we can answer. We can ask it at the end. The presentation will be about 30 to 40 minutes, and there'll be 15 minutes of questions at the end. Mm, If you want to host a webinar, I'll be sending a link in the chat box for you guys to fill up if you want to host a webinar on your own research at some point. Yep. So, Mohammed, do you want to start?
Yeah, just a second. How do I minimize all this? Yeah.
I think just go. You have to press like there's a hide the thumbnail video on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I start it? Shall I
Yep.
introduce me first?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So thank you, Think Wildlife Foundation, for supporting me or for encouraging me to host such kind of giving me the platform to represent my work. I'm really very much, I feel very lucky to share my field experiences, my studies on red pandas last three and a half years. So my name is Moumita. I'm working on red panda since last 3.5 years, or maybe could be 4 years. So I was working. It was a long story. I was working with. I have started my journey with wildlife WWF India, and then I joined my PhD on red pandas with in Wildlife Institute of India, and I got award from ZSL, Zoological Society of London, and National Geographic Society to work for this elusive species in Sikkim Himalayan landscape. So my study is basically on a conservation of red pandas in Sikkim Himalaya, but here I'm only focusing on the particular outside protected areas. It's a cut piece of my studies, you can say. So now I'm going to discuss about some interesting notes or some interesting sightings from Sikkim Himalayas that I encountered last 4 years. So the thing is, my question is why we are studying in non-protected areas. So although we all know protected areas has a vast range of like rules, action plans for the species by Wildlife Protection Act 1972, but there are very certain rules are present for the non-protected areas. And there's, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it
I can.
audible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's audible.
So, so my question is like when I started my research on on red pandas, the first question comes to my mind was like there is certain barriers, there is certain ecological barriers in the landscape, but is a species really understand that particular things? If it is yes, then the species only can reserve or uh, protected into the protected sites, not in the non-protected site. But my study reveals that the species are also distributed in all protected and non-protected stages in Sikkim. And that is very interesting note. So why should we consider non-protected areas as an important site or as an important factor for red pandas? So now I'm representing my research work on panda outside protected areas and new insights from Sikkim. So the first question comes to my mind is, have you heard of the first true panda? So why it is true panda? Because red panda is only true panda. Many people people have some confusion with giant panda because we mostly know about giant panda is a big white and black panda, but they are not considered as a panda. It is belongs to the Ursidae family, which is a bear family. But the panda belongs to is a different family, which is a particular monotypic family, is Aluridae family. So yes, so this panda is actually, this red panda actually belong to the age group, which is evolutionarily distinct and globally endangered species, and they're also under the endangered species list by IUCN Red List. And why we considered red panda as an age species? Because the phylogeny of the red panda is still on the debate, because they are actually belongs to Allidae family, and the other relatives of this family are already extinct since long back. So earlier, people have some confusion with like whether they could belongs to the Prasinidae family or Mustidae family or Mephitidae family or the Ursidae family. But still, uh, there is something, they are more close to the Prasinidae, Mustidae and Mephitidae family, rather the Ursidae family, but they have their own monotypic family, which is Allidae, and they belongs to this particular family. But the interesting point was red panda is belongs to the Allidae family, and earlier there have had couple of species which belongs to the same Allidae family, but there is like some similarities and dissimilarities both. The similarities is some of their morphological structure, their especially their pseudothumb, and some of their behavioral factors, which is both all of the species were climber species. Although red panda is adapted to the arboreal species, they were not. And the other hand, the dissimilarities is the other species was distributed in the North America and the Europe, we can say North Europe, so Eurasian part of uh, the site. But red panda is adopted to the Eastern Himalayan landscape. It's it is distributed from the Nepal, India, Bhutan, China, Myanmar. So yes, so each species holds distinctive characteristics, like whether it could be their look, their living pattern, their behavior, and some of the genetic, definitely genetic look. And that is why, as red panda is belongs to a soul family or the monotypic family of Aluridae, like if we lose red panda, the whole family will be disappear. And we all know red panda is an endangered species by IUCN Red List. So yeah, yes. So I trying to cover this particular notes on that is this consists this red panda is belongs to this Aluridae family, and the other species like the bears are from Ursidae family, and it's also showed the other Prasinidae family and Mustidae, Mephitidae family. But some of the study reveals a convergent evolution of the giant panda and red panda as because of their certain similarities, like their food habit, their habitat selections, and some of their behavior as well. Red panda is an habitat and diet specialist. Why? Because we all know red panda is distributed in the eastern Himalayan landscape, especially in temperate broadleaf forest and mixed coniferous forest. So they have, and not only the forest, they also need some particular variables to survive themselves in that temperate or subalpine or broadleaf forest. So, especially their arboreal species, they used to live in trees. They used to eat roost in trees most of the time. And in case of their diet, as their uh, as they belong to the carnivora, but they are actually the hypocarnivore, because their most of the diet is almost 90% of their diet is bamboo. And apart from bamboo, they used to eat some of the fruits of Sorbus cuspidata, some berries, and some of the leaves of rhododendrons, sour, and etc. So that is why we consider red panda as an habitat specialist and diet specialist, because they have some distinct nature, uh, and which is really rare. We cannot see like as, and that is why they are considered as an age species, because they have this certain phenomena which represent a unique nature of the species. They are also an indicator species from eastern Himalayan landscape. They indicates the good habitats. They indicates the whole all of this for. Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, yes. Some issues was going on, I think.
No,
Can
no,
you please?
it's fine now. It's fine now. Don't worry.
Okay,
Continue.
okay.
We'll
All
get
right.
it anyway.
So they're indicator species. They indicates the eastern Himalayan forest patches, whether it is a good healthy patches or not. So yes, we can consider it as an indicator species of eastern Himalayan landscape. And of course, they're endangered species. Uh, so as I already mentioned here, some previous reports of red pandas. So it shows like till 2015, sorry, 1888, there was insufficient data. Still 1990. After 1994, once the data came, it comes under vulnerable, and again it is comes under endangered after 1996. So the fluctuation actually shows the number of population is declining day by day, and which is really an important factor for red pandas, like an as it is belongs to the endangered category. Yes, the species is really weird, and also the species is really wonderful to study. And I got such an amazing experience once I see red panda in the wild, not more than 10 to 11 times, but less than like 10, 11 times. But it is really amazed to see them in the wild. If it is like I encountered them, I saw their park marks, I saw the other secondary evidences, but all of this like actually amazed me a lot in the field during my field work. So I already mentioned why they are weird and why they are distinct from other animals, because they are vegetarian carnivore, because they belongs to the carnivores, and they mostly eat the bamboo. 90% eat bamboos. Apart from that they eat some of the as I already mentioned, some of the other 10 species which we found it from my study. They have some pseudothumb which they can easily grip, and they can easily climb down and up in the trees. And as I already mentioned, they are arboreal to they're arboreal species. They're mostly rest, roost, nest in that trees, and they are mostly roosting all the time during still since dawn to dusk in the trees. So this pseudonym can help them to climb up and go down during the whole day. And the interesting part is that this pseudotherm, like as I already mentioned, some of the phylogenetic history of the Aleridae group. So earlier, we can consider two different, like uh, the different subspecies, which is Aleridae and Simoshini. It was found in 1800 eras, but they have had this pseudodump and for their climbing purposes, and they were also the climber too. So that is why, for that reason, the species red panda and the other species of this group are quite similar, and they have a huge number of similarities compared to the other groups. Uh, I have attached this picture just to understand how much, like how they camouflage to the nature. As you can see, the reddish coat and the white face of this red panda are easily camouflaged with the trees or the lichens. So you can easily understand the picture that I have attached in this slide. So such weird and wonderful characters makes them unique in the nature. So, and basically some of the particular criteria, some of their like distinct nature uh, makes red panda different. And coming to the next slide, so red panda is distributed in the 5 distinctive countries, but it's mostly in the eastern Himalayan landscape, starting from Nepal, India, Bhutan, and then China and Myanmar. So I mentioned the 4 different states which hold red panda in India, but this upper 3 states like Arunachal, Sikkim, and upper part of the northern part of West Bengal holds red pandas. There are few reports where this name came, the Meghalaya, and the report showed in the elevation of 700 to 1200 meter altitude, some of their evidence has been recorded. The coming slide shows the species is really like their species has some distinctive features, and this species is like rare, elusive, and very rare to as because of the shyness, it's really found in the wild habitat. So there are there are very less of studies has been found like since back, but this graph also shows like many new informations generate since 2000, and many new informations come, many outcomes are coming out like after 2000. So there are lots of publications came out recent days on red pandas, especially from China, Nepal. Compared to China and Nepal, India has a very less papers or very less publications or very less research works on that particular species. Couple of reports, papers I have attached in my slides, but still there are very less studies have been done so far from the Sikkim Himalayan landscape. There are a couple of studies like who are working for red pandas, like WWF India's are working for red pandas since long back. There are other institutions like ETRIs, they're also working. And apart from that, the forest department also, like they also contribute their side for the red panda research and conservation. But still there are very lack of research work is there. So hence my studies is bridging the gap. Hence my studies is actually bridge the gap of the work of, and it is actually connecting the gap between protected lands and the non-protected forest. This map actually shows. So before I'm little bit covering my like study designs and all. So before going to the field work, I did Boolean based. It's a simple Boolean rule based modeling. So why I did this particular modeling, just to understand, just to confirm the red pandas have suitability, or red pandas suitability in the whole range of red panda sites that I demarcated in that particular map. So you can see the black like areas where actually started from 1800 meter to 4000 meter altitude, which we can say the preferable habitat for red pandas. So I did the Boolean rule-based model just to confirm how much areas are highly suitable, moderately suitable, and low suitable. And I did some pilot works and I put my data to this map, and just to understand whether these areas are suitable or not. And interestingly, I found more than 60% areas like outside protected habitats are suitable. Like it's in the category of highly suitable and moderately suitable. So as you can notice this map, if you can see the map, the green patches are highly suitable. I have mentioned here, this is 4 and 5 ranking, or the weightage. The weightage is 4 and 5, which denotes the highly suitable areas. The weightage is there 2 to 3, it's moderately, and 0 to 1 is low. So this almost the area is, you can see the most of the area is comes under the highly and moderate suitable. So once like given to this data, then I did a 2.5 years extensive survey in the whole landscape, covering 7 protected areas and 16 non-protected areas. 16 reserve forest areas, I can say. So to understand their distribution, their current scenario, the status of the red pandas in the Sikkim Himalayan landscape. So my Edge project, which I got it from Zoological Society of London and National Geographic Society, the major vision was to enhance the protection of existing habitat, whether it could be like protected areas or non-protected areas, enhancing the protection level.
Could you please mute yourself? Who is unmuted? Yep. You can continue, Moumita. Sorry for that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So our major vision was to enhancing the protection of the existing habitats, could be protected, could be non-protected, of red pandas in Sikkim through the research work, through some education sensitization programs across the whole Sikkim. So we looked for the signs on non-protected and protected, both of these areas, but as I only covered the non-protected areas, only giving the information of non-protected areas, so I just mentioned the non-protected areas here. So we did the sign survey along the stretches of the trail, so using the transect methods. So we surveyed a total number of almost like 150 trails in that particular landscape, and we searched for the direct sightings as well as the indirect evidences. So We counted the potential trees which holds red pandas, where red panda actually roost or rest, and as we can count it as in substrate. So we count the direct sightings and the indirect evidences like the pellets, especially the pellets and the pug marks, their foraging signs, and if the scratch marks or body parts was there, so we can count it also. Apart from that, just to understand with the vegetation, the habitat quality, the habitat use and the characteristics over there. So we recorded all these features as well, just to understand the species habitat association in non-protected areas. So interestingly, a total number of 103 red panda evidences have been found from the 8 non-protected areas. So I mentioned there in my map, it is showing the red patches are the location where I found the red pandas. And I also the reservoirs, like I also mentioned these reservoirs, like I also hatching all these reservoirs wherever I encountered these red pandas. So there are 8 reservoirs where we got the red panda evidences, interestingly. So earlier I was started from the north Sikkim, and I came down towards east, west, but unfortunately I haven't encountered from the south. No, I sorry, say I encountered from the south itself. This is a boundary, yes. So yes, I got it all evidences from the all districts or 4 districts of Sikkim. So the result actually, the result actually shows mm, Lachung Valley uh, is a reserve forest. Under Lachung Reserve Forest is situated in the northern part of the Sikkim, northern part of the Sikkim. It's comes under the North Sikkim district. So it holds a huge number of red pandas, as it shows the result as a 66.7% like Lachung only holds as per the red panda records as a whole. And apart from that, some of the other places like Naga, Yali, Nesa, Sada, Nonsamdang, and Taram, we have encountered red pandas so far. So why we did this research, why we like what is the significance of this research is like to the if we can see the stages, then you can understand the most of the stages are interlinked, except the Lachung Valley. It's a bit far from the protected areas, which is Singba Rhododendron Sanctuary. Apart from that, most of the protected and non-protected stages are like interconnected with each other. So if we considered only PA, and we cannot say the species is found in only the protected areas. The species is also like distributed in other non-protected areas as well, my study shows. So we definitely look into the particular segments of the non-protected areas conservation. Maybe that could be have some particular rules or particular action plans for the non-protected areas as well to protect or conserve this endangered species in Sikkim. So my studies, my outcomes helps to generate a significant result which shows the current status, the current scenarios of red pandas in Sikkim Himalayas, especially from the non-protected areas, the habitat characteristics, both in protected and non-protected areas, the vegetations, the topographical features, and some of the other variables, which is which is actually for the red pandas, so that we counter, and that outcomes can help to generate the further conservation efforts in non-protected areas. So at the initial phase of our research, I I also engaged with the forest department officials. I also trained them. Uh, I also given some technical training workshop sessions with them, like how to monitor red pandas, how to find the particular trees or the particular substrate where you're supposed to encounter the pandas pellets in the forest areas, forest patches. And apart from that, some of the other trainings like other meetings and understand their perceptions, the forest department perceptions, officials' perceptions as well, to understand the current scenario of this endangered species at this landscape. I also did some local sensitization programs with the local communities around nearby the non-protected areas, and it was really amazing to meet the people, to understand, to show the significance of the elusive species, and the significance of the species, the significance of this species in the nature, and this particular in the forest. So, and I also collected some of the results from some of the social dimension data from the local villagers, the local communities, to understand the people perceptions over there. And also it was also a great to sensitize the local students. And I also trying to make a group of nature club, which is Red Panda on Edge. As you can, if you can search in the social media, you can find it. There are a couple of members who are work for the project, and I really feel lucky to have many interns with me, my field assistants, associates, whoever working for me since last 3.5 years. I was really blessed to have them, because without them, I cannot do that huge, extensive work in that landscape. So the milestone that I achieved still far, I identified the hotspots from the Sikkim landscape, especially in the non-protected habitats, because there are very few excuse me, there are very few data are available from the non-protected areas. And so I have started with the non-protected areas across the whole red panda habitats in Sikkim. So, and understand the hotspots of red panda areas, and their potential corridors in the landscape. I also understand some of the specific site-specific drivers, or some of the important variables which could directly or indirectly uh, affect towards red pandas. So that is very important to identify the drivers which actually governs their distribution pattern, maybe in seasonal basis. So I addressed all of this. I addressed the the distinctive bamboo over there. Like red panda mostly prefers two distinct bamboos, which is we all mostly all know, Arundinaria malingo and Dendrocoloma strictus. They mostly preferred both of this, but I also identified the other bamboos in across the landscape. The most important part is to prioritize the areas, could be the protected or non-protected, which is vulnerable till the date in the landscape. I especially trained the local communities, sensitize the local communities, making a nature club and Sikkim with the couple of group of students who can help me in the red panda conservations now and in future. So these all my milestones. These all are the milestones that I have achieved so far. But I have many things to do in future. This is a very baseline data that actually help me future studies or future research. even though not only for me, even for the other researcher also, like they can also easily understand from this from that outcomes. So the study actually helps for all the departments who are associate with that species, all the researchers who are working for the species, and the other scientists who are working for the species, or any person who are related to the species. So yes, now I am very much thankful for the team of Think Wildlife Foundation who given me the opportunity to represent my work here, and all the supporting partners who are associated with me, all my advisors, all my teammates, professor colleagues, and all my interns and field assistants who are associated till the date, my institute, and the organization who has supported me till the date, ZSL and National Geographic, my institute, Wildlife Institute of India, and last not the least, the forest department who giving me such a who giving us a support till the project end. So I am very much thankful to all of them. Thank you.
So, well, thanks for your talk. Are any questions? Just unmute yourself and ask, or just ask in the chat.
Uh, Anish, you can also share my mail ID to them, so
Yeah,
that
cool.
if they have any questions, so they can mail us.
Could you just put it in the chat? It'll be easy because
Yeah, sure. I'm share my
yeah.
project mail ID.
Any questions?
Yes. So
Okay.
yes.
I'm not sure who was the closest living relative of the red panda.
Yeah, I already said it is the Prasinidae, that these three different groups of the Prasinidae, Mustelidae, and Bifididae are morely closest to the red panda, and still they have like currently at least we can say these three different groups are like closest to the red pandas. Is your research paper accessible to the public? Yeah, actually, uh, I currently working on the paper. So once it is published, I'll definitely share everywhere, especially in the ResearchGate and other profiles, other hunter handles.
Any more questions?
Please shed some light on habitat destruction of red pandas. Yeah, I supposed to mention that, but uh, I already told something, because why I didn't mention such things, because we all know protected areas has some certain rules and regulations as per the law of Wildlife Protection Act. So we all knows. But one more thing I supposed to convey. Nepal and Bhutan both has the red panda action plans, but India till the date, in India, even Sikkim has no such plans, like not for the red panda action plans, but yeah, they're still working on the action plans. So yes, compared to protected, like if we compare both of these protected and non-protected areas, we all we can understand the non-protected areas has too many risks compared to the protected areas. Coming to the point of, if like as I already told, red panda is an arboreal species. They mostly live, roost, rest, nest in the trees. So we can say like the most important factor of the habitat destruction is habitat. This is logging, and we can say like the cutting of the trees, and some even they are mostly dependent on the bamboos, so extensive logging of the bamboos. So the first one is, as I noticed in the field, is the logging and the tree cutting for the timber, for collecting the timber firewood from that forest. But as we all know, this all areas are very much remote, and people are morely dependent on the forest resources because of the remote places. So yes, my major focus is to understand the similarities or the resource overlap between uh, the people and the red pandas, because people are also using some trees for that, using the timbers or the firewood purposes, and red pandas also using the trees for their own purposes, like to raise roost. So that we are figuring it out, like which particular trees are common to both of them, and how we can uh, like we can sensitize people, like which or what particular trees should be conserved in future for the species. So thus we can help it out, or like figure it out in the future. How do researchers differentiate between two subspecies of? So actually, the thing is, basically, the phylogeny of red panda still on debate. We all know, but yeah, some of the papers came. There are two distinct red panda subspecies, which is the Himalayan red panda and the Chinese red pandas. The first thing is, we can say we can differentiate both of the species through the genetic analysis. Other than that, some of the morphological features may could also distinguish both of these species. But unfortunately, I did not get the opportunity to work for the Chinese red pandas as well. Even I'm not the background of genetic research work, so I do not have much idea of genetic research of red pandas. But definitely, it is very important and very essential part of this red panda research. But yeah, I'll definitely look into it once some of this habitat behavioral things is over. Then I'll definitely look into it, because it's a really interesting part of this particular edge species. And for all the viewers, like if you have any questions in future, I already like noted there the email ID redpandaonedge@gmail.com. This is a project email ID, so you can contact anytime, or you can contact me anytime in my number as well. Like if any opportunity comes in future, so you can volunteers with us or interning with us in future for red pandas conservation.
Any more questions? Viral questions?
Yeah, there is one more question, I think.
Yep.
How does this local people feel about conservation of red pandas? Yeah, so there is no such red panda conflict in Sikkim landscape, because these species are not coming to the village directly. But yes, we encountered some of the some places. It's nearby northern part of Sikkim, which is closest with the villages like Lachung, Lachin. But uh, for the conservation perspectives, we can say the local people are more like they're very generous to the red pandas, because red panda is not an harmful species. They are not harming their like any crops or something like that, like a black bear. But we can say like for from our field observation, there is no as such human wildlife conflict these days in the in at least especially in the Sikkim. Maybe somewhere else there is conflict, but I'm talking about the Sikkim. There is no as such human red panda conflict there. What are the defense mechanism of red pandas against predators? So, Smita, actually, the thing is, I haven't done any radio coloring or something else, but I also read it from like literatures. We never know, like as we only know there are a shy species or the rare species, and the defense mechanism is very like it's very generous and very low, and that is why they are adapted they are more into the trees to protect themselves from the other predators. So yes, does red panda have any natural predators? Yeah, there are many leopards, clouded leopards. There are many. Even though the yellow-throated martin is also a like they usually attack the red pandas. And apart from that, the other problems in that landscape that I actually forget to mention is the feral dog attacks, because we all know the Sikkim is a like it's connected with many international boundaries like Nepal, Bhutan, and China. So there are many armed forces in that area, especially in the northern and eastern part of the Sikkim. So we observe many feral dogs, which majorly attacks the red pandas. So it is also comes under the natural predators, which is very much harmful for the red pandas in their natural habitat. Do you think red panda requires captive? Definitely, definitely. Actually, there are a couple of projects are going on, especially in West Bengal Forest Department. They're actually working for the captive breeding of red panda. They are doing such a great job, and they're doing very extensive work for the captive breeding. You can search it. You can search some of the projects of captive breeding, which is still going on in with the forest department and the zoo, Padmanabhan Naidu Zoo, Darjeeling. You can look into that.
Any, yeah, shouldn't they
Should
also, yeah,
be
shouldn't,
introduced. Yes. I told you, na. So actually, the West Bengal Forest Department and the zoo, the Darjeeling Zoo, they are collaboratively working for the captive breeding and reintroduction program, both of this simultaneously, and they usually reintroduce the species to the Singalila National Park in the northern part of West Bengal. So yeah, it is usually happened there, but maybe not in the Sikkim. So in future, maybe the department also can plan for the reintroduction things or the captive breeding things for the red panda in this Sikkim landscape. Any other questions? Are they introduced species able to? Yes, they are. There are many reports. Please, there is one documentary as well. I can suggest you to see. This is very interesting. Chira about the mist by Dr. Sunita Pradhan, uh, the leading scientist of red pandas. So you can definitely watch this. You can get the ideas of how to do how to like how they are doing actually this reintroduction, this captive breeding things over there. So please watch this Cherub of the Mist. It's very interesting, and they are actually surviving in the wild, and they are adapting in the nature. Uh, for Sikkim, it's very rare occasion, maybe very rare occasion we can say, because there is no conflict as such. But for the other hand, we can say, like, as they are arboreal species, mostly based on the trees, mostly most of the time they are roosting in the trees. So if habitat loss is like The crucial problem was there is the habitat loss and the habitat fragmentation. So that actually directly or indirectly harms the red panda's habitat. So yes, more than that, we can say the habitat loss is a biggest factor for red pandas in Sikkim, not the poaching. Maybe the other part of the India, maybe Arunachal Pradesh, also the poaching is more than the other lands of red pandas, like the other lands is Sikkim and the other part of Arunachal, West Bengals.
So
There, I encountered directly, mostly I encountered in the morning. Maybe it could be, as I remember, it was like daytime only, like 9 to 11. I mostly encountered the species. So they're active dawn to dusk. They're crepuscular in nature, but I personally encountered mostly in the daytime. Yes, that is why I'm sharing my email ID here. Please mail to us. If any opportunity comes in the future, we can definitely let you know. Can you give us insight about their breeding patterns? So there are very less of studies available in breeding patterns of red pandas in the wild, especially. Yes, there are a couple of studies have been done so far in the China. So as we can see, like uh, they actually have had some like 2 or 3 liters at this at, like in a year, and we all like mostly we all know they are solitary in the nature, and they only we, like they only like we can find 2 or 3 red pandas at a time, only this time of like the mating time or the parental care time of this species. So Samarth, I'll suggest you some of the papers that you can also read for if you want to know more about the breeding patterns, because uh, I cannot say within a minute. It's a like you have to understand so far, because firstly there is very less of work has been done so far on the breeding, but I can definitely suggest you some of the papers that you can follow, and you can read and understand their breeding patterns that actually studied in the China. So whoever have any questions? Okay, since habitat loss is a main factor, their decreasing population. So what are the lands being converted to? What are the lands being converted to? No, actually, uh, I already told you, like for protected areas, they have department has some highest level of protections compared to the non-protected areas. But sometimes like there are two major factors that I observed in the field, like during the field time. Mostly like people are using trees for their own purposes, like they're collecting timbers, they're collecting the fuels to generate heat, because the all the spaces places are very remote, and you can understand. But mostly it remains the same land, maybe the barren you can say the barren habitats. But and the another segments I observed, some of the lands also like they're converted to the agricultural land, and also some of the cattle herding points in the closest forest ranges. So yes. Any other questions? I think it's done, Anish.
Yep, that is quite interactive. So thanks for your session. No, there's one more question. Yeah,
Should we
uh,
have an opportunity to voice this webinar
yeah.
again? As we thought about.
So I will be uploading this video very shortly, and I've sent a YouTube link in the chat. I'll send it again right now. So you can subscribe to it, and um, it'll be up in about half an hour. Because it takes some time to like load and stuff. So, yep, please do subscribe. Here's the channel. I just sent a link in the chat box. Uh, is anyone interested in presenting a webinar for us? Because I can send a link to fill up a form for that also. Because there's lot of young academics who should be presenting their data. So yep, I think that's it for us. Thanks everyone for attending and making this an interactive session. And thank you, Moumita, for this presentation.
Thank you so much, Anish. And if anyone interested to know more about the species and my work, because I only covered a few of the portion of my work. So if you want to know more about the species, please keep in touch with me. Maybe in LinkedIn, or maybe in like through Gmail. So I already mentioned my Gmail. Or if you want to more have, like, if you want to have any doubts further, please let me connect it, and I'll definitely trying to like encourage people. And I'm very much happy to show my work here. Thank you so much, Anish, for the
Thank
giving
you.
this platform.
Thank you. See you all. Bye.